Sunday, I think it's the 12th of March. There's a plane pulling a glider over there. Can you see it? There's some airbase near here where they do that. Yeah, sorting through things, getting things done. Probably a bit windy, still not sorted the microphones out. Got so much to sort out and do. But finally starting to feel a bit like myself again. It's funny, it's just, don't realise the stresses of having not a house available, your house available with all of your things, all of the things that you're comfortable to do with. Comfortable. I guess in life I've just been having a chat with Emily about how, yeah, I guess we like to be safe and secure and be comfortable, but life can sometimes get a bit too comfortable. I think the ego protects us and keeps us safe and comfortable for what we know. So if we feel safe about our beliefs and life, but that can also happen. We were talking about anxiety. I've mentioned it in the video as well about anxiety is really just fear of the future, projecting in your mind to some future event, date, time, life, part of life, and having a feeling in the stomach, you get a physical reaction, an anxiety. And I don't really suffer from anxiety. I never really have. I mean, I have been anxious when thinking about maybe future events, thinking, oh, what's going to happen, what's going to be there. But then I've learned to project that into positive thoughts, and then you just make mind movies in your mind about what you want to happen. And like a social event, for example, you're like, oh, I've got to go to this wedding, not seeing these people, oh, what's going to happen here? But then you just kind of switch it and project it into, you make up movies about what you want to happen, and having a good time and communicating and having laughs and just an all-round relaxed, enjoyable time. And this does work. This has worked with me for interviews and all sorts of things. It's very powerful, the mind. Our body, mind and nervous system, it doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So it's wise to notice yourself if you are thinking about the future in a negative sense, to first of all notice that, and then once you've noticed it, you can then start to manage it, and then you can start to reprogram that. Because if you're in this moment right now is the present moment. My mind can either be present, one of 5 things, or it can be thinking about the past in a positive or negative stance, or it can be thinking about the future in a positive or negative stance. Those 5 things, that's it. So being present is very good. Being centered and breathing helps with that. Meditating, yoga, Tai Chi, whatever your discipline, anything, but it's very easy to just get back to the present, because you have to become the observer of your mind. You are you have a body and you have a mind. But a lot of the times, I've known people that have described their anxiety as crippling anxiety, and I guess that's when you're not managing your body and your mind. Your mind is running away with you about a negative future. So if you're in that kind of state a lot of the time, you're wasting time and energy, and being carried away with your own mind, which I know is it's easy to talk about and say it's a waste of time, but it's first of all, you've just got to recognize it and then go, oh right, I'm thinking negatively about the future. Why am I feeling like that? And maybe you need to go through some of those feelings to then start to think, okay, well, how can I turn this around, and what's in my power? And I think a lot of times it's a control thing. People feel out of control with life. And then there's the past as well, and it's I've had a lot of past things like healing from and looking back, and just things with certain people where You've got to come to peace with that. You've got to be able to look back on the past, and although bad things may have happened and mistakes could have been made, or on your side or other people's side, it's good to come to peace with that. Write a letter to yourself, write a letter to that person. You don't have to send it, but it's just the written word, and coming to peace with it, coming to terms. And yeah, like if your mind is always going back to some negative thing in the past and it keeps coming up, then you've not learned from that and you've not healed from that. So that's what you need to do. And that's what the Life Master system that I'm really passionate about in part of Non-Conformity Company is all about. It's about really coming to terms with the past, present and the future, and having a system where that's always managed. But you need to be the observer of yourself, basically. Otherwise you're just in it, aren't you? Can't see the wood for the trees. So yeah, it's day 281. Made some good progress sorting the house. Finally feel like I'm getting back to myself. It's just been a wild ride. Feels like March. It feels very turbulent in terms of changes, in terms of what's going on in the universe, in terms of just life, relationships, and it could be positive or negative. Like, just feels like massive change is occurring throughout the world. And I certainly am ready for some change, ready for some new adventures, and been discussing those. Where to go in the van, what van to get, how to kit out the van, what stuff we need. Just going to define everything that I need in my life, and then it just makes it simple. Even down to like my toiletry kit, I'm just going to have lists and sub-lists, and just like, that's it. So that's kind of, I just want to complete it all. So there's nothing to think about. There'll always be things to think about, but I want to remove the most amount of things possible to ever think about in my life ever, so I can just breathe and sit and be for the most amount of time every day. So yeah, I've got a cup of tea brewing. Beautiful day. And yeah, I'm just going to spend the next few days. The thing for me, the final chapters have come for the final parts of the Life Master program have arrived, and I'm just going to have 3 documents. And these are the core documents that you're going to need. And one of them is your ideal life. So you go to town and write as many words, paragraphs, a story about your ideal life, exactly what you want. You can use those 5 areas: health, work, people, finances and evolution, as a bit of a guide. And then the next document, number 2, is your best day ever, your perfect day, your ideal day, whatever you want to call it. I've just got the 3 bookmarks on the top left as life, day and plan, because plan's the 3rd one. But yeah, your best day ever is where you then put in what your ideal day would be, merged with what's achievable now and how you want your ideal life to be. And then these things will always keep evolving and changing. And then the 3rd document is a plan document, where you're gonna put in bullet points, lists and bullet points of plans to go towards that. Hello. A very silent car. So those 3 documents, I'm going to speak more on those on the next few days, because I'm going to be completing them and then introducing that as the free Life Master program for you all to master your life.